Hello, everyone. We're going to give it just a couple minutes while people get in. I don't know if we have really, I guess we'll first of all say a shout out to Chris, our technical helper in the background who you can't see.
You can't see.
AKA Mr. Kzip Knits. He's our yarn mule, I guess. Today he's moving the yarn around so we can see it on the other camera setup we have. And then also Kim, who's in the chat. She's going to be moderating for us. She's waving there. If you guys have questions or anything, just throw it in the chat there. Kim will do her best to answer, supply you with links and stuff. And if there's anything that we need to directly respond to, she will flag us down in one way, shape, or another. So yeah, I know that we have at least Bainbridge Island and Smethurst represented so far. So we'd love to know where people are tuning in from. Yeah.
Yeah. Throw that in the chat. We'd love that.
Yes. It's nice to see. I know last time it was really fun going through all the comments afterwards and seeing where everyone was from.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
And I guess I'm Kelsey. I'm Kzip Knits.
I'm Michele. I'm Isis Fibre Arts.
And we're coming to you from Michelle's basement in Culleton, or Dye Studio, I should say.
Also the basement.
Also the basement, yes.
Although I always hate to say the basement, I like to say the lower level, only because
you're not underground.
Yeah, like my house is built into the side of a mountain, so this whole half of the basement is above ground and it's nice and bright.
You can see the natural light peeking out there.
Lots of windows. Basement just sounds, dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
If you want to learn a little bit more about us, last time we did a trunk show like this, we did quite a long introduction about us and how we got into dyeing and stuff. So if that is something that interests you, there will be a link thrown into the chat, courtesy of Kim probably. If I didn't give her that link, you can find it on YouTube. Oh, she's thumbs up. So you can check that out and you can learn a little bit more about us. We thought we would keep that more minimal this time so we can show you more pretty things like what's behind us.
More stuff.
More stuff.
Yeah.
More stuff.
Should we talk about what's behind us?
Sure.
It's yarn.
Spoiler alert.
So we have a contest. Should
yes.
we talk about the contest now?
Sure.
So the contest, let's talk about prizes first.
Okay.
Get people excited.
So we have 3 prizes. We have a yarn prize, we have a notions prize, and we have a pattern prize.
So the yarn prize is first prize. And you get these 2 skeins of super bulky, one from each of us. And does it just yarn? No, it comes with
it will also come with a pattern for this too.
For that hat.
So you can either make that hat with it, or you can make 2 separate hats, whatever your jam is.
Right. So that's first prize. Second prize is some super cute stitch markers made by Kelsey. And third prize is a copy of the pattern for my, turn it around.
Right side, Michele, right side.
Lily of the Valley stole in fingering weight. You can make it in any weight. Anyway, that is third prize. Now for the actual contest.
You have to determine how many skeins of yarn are sitting behind us.
Here's the key though. There are 10 of these boxes.
Dun, dun, dun.
You can't see them all.
You can only see 8 if you're lucky.
You can only see 6, 4.5. You have to guess how many skeins of yarn are in all 10 boxes.
Mm-hmm.
But don't guess now. We're gonna do this at the end.
Share problems. Don't guess now.
At the end, we'll tell you when to put your guess in the chat. You only get 1 guess. So
save it. Start your counting.
Start counting.
You can start your spreadsheeting, come up with your mathematical equation to determine how many skeins of yarn are behind us.
Bring out your abacus.
Chris says, bring out your abacus.
Yeah.
If you didn't catch that.
Yes. So remember, 10 of these boxes, not just the ones you can see.
Exactly. And we'll do a reminder about that partway through, just so if anyone tunes in later. Or if you missed the directions, they'll be repeated.
They'll be repeated.
The other thing is that we will be offering a discount code to both of our web stores and patterns. You can use the code KCV15 for 15% off. And Michele or Kim's thrown it into the chat there for everyone. And again, that'll pop up periodically.
And that's good from right now until the end of February, Tuesday, which is February 2nd.
Groundhog Day.
Oh yeah, Groundhog Day. Yeah. So from now until the end of like midnight, Tuesday night, you can use it.
Yeah. So you don't have to, if you're like, oh, I don't know what yarn to get, you can have a few days.
Exactly.
Or you can get some yarn and then you can
get more yarn.
Exactly.
Whatever.
We're not trying to force you to get yarn at all, but
Yeah, we are.
oh yeah, that's the purpose of this,
That's
isn't
the
it?
point. Show the yarn.
Show the yarn. Well, speaking of yarn, and
February. Thank you.
Thanks, Cindy. So it ends on Groundhog Day, or like midnight of Groundhog Day.
Right.
No, I said that wrong still. Just listen to Cindy. End of the day, Tuesday.
Tuesday, midnight. Okay.
Should we talk about yarn?
Let's do that.
Okay.
Shall we?
So we're gonna start off with our fingering weight yarns, and we're gonna switch over. Michelle's gonna talk about her sock base, I believe, first.
Yes. So let me switch to the other camera. There it is. So
And if there's something that you guys are not seeing that you want to see better, just throw it in the chat and we can yell at Chris to move things.
right. So
In a nice way. We'll yell at him in a nice way.
we won't be mean. So this is my fingering weight base, fingering base. These three colors are random color 16, which
That's dark blue with the speckles.
is on my right, so it's on their left, right? Correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So from left to right,
From the good
random color 16. The middle one is called periwinkle, and the other one is called stoneflower speckle. This is kind of your basic sock weight. It's an 8-ply high twist. We have the same base, right? You're
Yes,
showing the same one next. 400 meters per 115 gram skein. It's good for everything and anything. And I have a sample. Am I showing it right?
Whoops.
Oh,
I hit the wrong one. This is why I'm not in charge of the cameras usually. Oh gosh. This
Try again. Start video.
loading.
Nope.
This is why they don't let me touch the mouse. There we go.
Okay. Yeesh. Okay, I have a sample. This is the Radiate Shawl by Stephen West, and it's in this fingering weight. This top color is lamium, then it moves into stoneflower, and then it goes into black mondograss. I added a mohair I-cord bind off just because I felt like it needed a little pop of something.
It's like glittery
It's
mohair.
glittery
Look at
mohair.
that.
A friend gave me this little ball
So
of
fun.
yarn, so I don't like actually knitting with the mohair, but I can manage the I-cord bind off.
It's pretty. I like it.
Yeah. Anyway, super great base, shawls, sweaters, socks, you name it. Whatever you want to make with fingering, it's the base to go for. Now we're going to move to
Mine.
Kelsey.
I have a sample here somewhere. So I had fun. So Chris and I recently moved back to the Okanagan, and I haven't located my blocking wires, and I kind of forgot that blocking wires were a thing. So Cindy, I know we'll have a good chuckle about this because we both just finished the same shawl. Can you tell where the blocking wires would have been useful?
I'll just pull these points down so you can pretend
This
that it's
is
supposed to look like this.
exactly. So this is our the Woollsia shawl by Ambah O'Brien, and this is how far one skein goes. Look at this.
Yeah.
This is massive. And if I'd had my blocking wires, it would have been like even more impressive because
Because
like look at that.
It's
So
a
this
good
is one
size.
skein. These ones are actually intended. These are little picos.
Yeah.
If I did it again, I would do them maybe slightly more often.
Right.
But one skein. Look at how
One
far that
skein.
goes.
let's
So we're gonna show you some of the yarn though.
show some yarn.
So this is our Spun set for Valentine's. From your left to right is Bite Me for the anti-Valentine's people in the crowd. And then the middle one is Conversation Hearts. And then the other one is called Be Mine. And again, same base as Michelle's. So it's a fingering sock, 80/20 nylon or merino nylon.
Superwash.
Nice high twist, works good. I really like it for socks on like a 2.5 millimeter.
Yeah,
kind of
that's
my
what I used
favorite.
to, 2.25.
Hey Chris, do you mind swapping the Conversation Hearts with the Be Mine so that they can see some more of the pinks? Because the Be Mine is actually like more colorful than you would expect.
So the
No, the one
hand,
in your hand we want to see more of.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
That
Here,
one.
That one.
something like
That one.
Yeah. So you can see there's like more pinks and stuff on it too.
Yeah, super pretty. Really pretty.
So it's a super fun one.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Let's throw, I brought a few, we do solids as well. I am kind of a sucker for the multicolored ones, but we have a few solid colors as well, just to, you know, make it more fun. So that's Lemonade Stand. That one is Blue Lobster and Charcoal. So just so you have an idea of what some of the tonals look like on our bases or our dye world, because even though we have the same yarn base, we dye quite differently.
We dye quite differently.
Which is always blows my brain.
We will switch back to us while Chris swaps out some more.
We have him working hard today.
He has to be working hard. The next one, it's my alpaca.
Yeah.
Alpaca. So this is newish to me, this base. I got it late last summer, and I love it.
Monique, the multicolored one was called Conversation Hearts. Sorry, Kim.
Sorry, Kim.
I saw that one, so I just thought I'd jump on it.
Yeah, no, and I totally missed it because I was copying and pasting the link. So, sorry.
Okay, let me go back to the yarn. Here we are. So this is Alpaca Silk Cashmere.
It's so buttery and delicious.
It's so nice. It's fingering weight. We've got
it's at the top.
It's at the top.
Sorry.
I want to make sure I'm giving the right name for the blue because I've got a few blues. This is Sage, Amsonia, and Crocosmia. This is like the best, my favorite. I've only knit one thing with it so far, but I have many things that I keep thinking I want to knit with it. So all I made it up until now is this beaded, it's the Beaded Beret by Churchmouse yarns. It's got beads. I have been wearing this all winter. Here in the Okanagan, we got a really bad cold snap over Christmas. It's ridiculous. I don't usually wear hats, but I wore this one, and it's nice. It's light. I don't like tight hats around my head. Makes my hair frizzy anyway. It's just bad.
I've just given up. My hair is just like
it's free and wild. But yeah, the alpaca is super warm, and I mean, alpaca silk cashmere.
so lovely.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my other fingering that I'm showing.
I have, so my answer to her buttery, delicious fingering weight is my BFL silk. So it's a 55% blue face Leicester, 45% silk. So it's got a really lovely sheen to it, which you are about to see. Chris is just making them look all pretty.
All right.
So we'll swap to that so you can see that. So you can see the sheen comes across really nicely. I brought more springy colors today. From left to right, we have Sage, Advice, Powder Blue, and La Vie en Rose. We do dye also some darker colors of this, but it's a really, I don't know, it's a great base. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. It's got the drape of silk, but it's got the memory of working with something that's a higher wool content. So for stitch definition, cables, lace, any of that kind of stuff, you get that like perfect kind of marriage of memory and what was it say? Memory and drape. That, yeah, those are the two things. I had just like a momentary
and shine,
like brain block there.
And shine from the silk.
How can you tell it's live?
Right.
And so I will show you a sample of what I mean about how cool that texture and stuff is, and then we can let Chris swap out yarn for the next one. Oh, I still have my Knit City tag on this. How fun is that?
Fun.
So this is actually a test knit I did quite a while ago now. Called Velen, and I'm probably saying that wrong because it's a French designer, Camille Descateoux. If you guys have heard of the Alaska hat at all, this is the same designer. So it's a cute little t-shirt kind of thing. So sure. So it's nice and drapey. I did like a larger size of it for her test, but if I hold it up, you can kind of see the texture in it, and the shine as well. But I love this. And if anyone is looking at it being a little concerned about how deep the neckline is, so because I was testing it, she hadn't ironed out the V-neck yet. So for some of the larger sizes, she has updated it so that the V is not quite so low.
Deep. So deep.
But it's a beautiful pattern. It's really well written. The texture is really fun on it too. It's definitely one I would recommend. And it only took me 2 and a bit, like I just dug into the 3rd skein for this. So
That's really good.
yeah, and this is like for a 54-inch bust. So if you're a little bit larger and you're looking for something that's a little bit more affordable to do a larger kind of size, this is a nice option. Still get the luxury, but not have to, you know, buy 6 or 7 skeins of yarn. So yes, that's that one.
That's always nice about fingering weight.
Yes, it's true.
It goes
A
a long
long way.
It goes a long way.
Which, speaking of affordability, don't forget we have a discount code. We're going to say it again. So you can use KCV15 for 15% off in our mutual yarn stores and
our websites.
Ravelry.
And it's good till Tuesday, February 1st,
Yes.
midnight.
I'm not allowed to say when it's good till anymore. And if you guys are new, should we reintroduce the game?
Yes, I think we should.
Okay. So
Yes.
for any of you who missed out on the game announcement, we have all this yarn behind us. Later in our show, we will prompt you to give us a guess as to how many skeins of yarn are sitting behind us. There are, you can see about 6 and a bit.
You can see, yeah, my chair's in the way. There are 10 boxes. You can't see the bottom boxes, but you have to include them.
Yes.
The guess is how many skeins of yarn in all 10 boxes. This is fingering weight. I don't know if that even matters. So wild ass guess.
Yes. And so we will prompt you later. You all get just one guess.
One guess.
And it'll be the top 3 closest guesses will get prizes.
We'll get prizes. Yay.
So
Okay.
now we are moving into our world of DK.
Switch to some
We're
yarn.
going to start with Michelle's DK.
This is my DK base. It's 100% superwash merino. It is super nice. These colors from left to right are Abutylon, Zinnia, and Chestnut. And this is like your basic DK. It goes with everything. It's got 268 meters, I'm guessing something, 269 meters per skein. It's just really, really nice. I quite love it.
It's got really good memory too. I really like
does.
the stitch definition on that base.
And this is what the sweater is knit out of. This is Sunshine Coast by Heidi Kirrmaier. I used just barely, I used 4 skeins. I had to cut into the 5th skein because I didn't do the sleeves 2 at a time. I really should. And I needed like 3 inches of one sleeve. So I had to cut into the next. This is, I don't know if you can tell. It's
Yes,
got
you can.
pattern down here, and it's kind of an A-line kind of sweater. And yeah, super comfortable. It's got a little bit of design right here, just some yarn overs for some interest. It's got rolled edges, which I like because I'm not a fan of ribbing. But it's a great pattern and super fun to knit. We have a friend who has made 5 of them.
Yes. Hi, Sue, if you're on, and if you're not, and you're watching this later.
And the 5th one is the only one she kept. Like she made them as
which
gifts
is
for people.
insane. I don't know that I could knit that. Like even some of my most favorite patterns, I don't know aside from socks if I could knit it 5 times. Like a sweater pattern at least.
Right,
Any
right.
sweater pattern 5 times.
Yeah.
That's commitment.
Yeah, I don't know. Socks are different.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So we'll talk about, I'm kind of cheating because I'm doing a DK and an Aran weight base, but the reason why is, so I'll tell you you can see that the ones on the left versus the right look slightly different. So they're the same fiber content, which is 75% blue face luster and 25% massum or brown massum, which gives you that kind of little bit of a darker undertone. It is a non-superwash yarn. And the colors on the left are Harvest Gold and Douglas, and that's an Aran weight version. And then the other side is Denim Jeans and Very Good, and that is the DK weight version. And I just love this yarn. I am a huge sucker for non-superwash yarns. If you love the kind of fuzz that you get from a mohair, The DK especially gives you a little bit of that, not as intense as in true mohair, but you get a little bit of that halo because of the massum, and it just, I don't know, it's a really soft, versatile yarn, and I really love it. So I'll show you, I'm wearing one of the samples. So Chris, you can go ahead and switch out to the next yarn. So I'm wearing, this one is knit in the DK weight. So this is the Manou sweater by Isabel Kramer. And I don't know if I ended up giving Kim a link for this one because I wasn't sure what I was going to wear today. So sorry, Kim. But I love it. So it's got the color work here, and then it's got a little bit of color work down at the bottom as well. And I have been wearing this sweater nonstop since I knit it last, like just going into the fall.
When we filmed your podcast, you were wearing that.
I wear this sweater a lot. There's probably like 3 or 4
nice.
podcasts of it. It's so nice.
Yeah, it's a really nice sweater.
But I also wanted to show you how well cables come out on this. So this is the DK weight with some cables on it. This is the Canyon Trail Toque, which I have not yet. It's one of my patterns, and I haven't published it yet because I need testers. So if you want to test it for me, let me know. I need testers because I have it all ready to go into testing in the next week or so. But this is the this is the kiddos version.
Kim has her hand up.
Oh, Kim.
Sorry, what weight is the tube?
This one's the DK one.
Thank you.
So DK, 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 DK. And then I have a sample of the Aran weight one as well. And this is the Glenmore sweater. If you watched our little preview podcast, I did show this in there because I had just finished it for that. This is the Glenmore mini by Isolda, and she also has an adult size version of this as well, which is in the same weight, similar gauge. And it's so pretty, and I love the stitch definition, and yeah, it's super cute, and I love it. And if I could tell anyone to buy a yarn, that would be this yarn, just because I love it. I'm a huge sucker for non-superwash yarns that are like, I don't know, I just feel like this one's like one of those special yarns that you don't come across very often. If anyone's knit with Barbara Muse, Dovestone, or Winterburn, it's a very, very similar feel to that. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's that. So that's my cheating one because I got Aran weight and DK. I know you said we were going to juggle yarn.
We're going to juggle yarn.
This is my preview. You can already tell it's not going to go well.
We know that for sure. Okay, we're going to move from non-superwash to buttery soft luscious.
You can even see how soft that one is. Like you just look at it and it looks soft.
This is my DK17 base. It is 17 micron superwash merino. 17 micron is a super fine fiber, and so regular merino is like 19 to 22-ish microns. The smaller, the finer it is, the softer it is. And this is mulberry, cedar, and nigella. Yeah, I love this so much. And I have 1.5 samples.
1.5 samples? Oh, I know the other one. Okay. I was like, how does that work?
It's 1.5 samples. It was supposed to be 2, but yeah, I didn't get it done. This is a Glacier Waters scarf by Epiphany Knitwear, who is a local designer, local to us. She lives in our area. This is in the color Festuca. And yeah, this is a super pretty design. There's cables, there's seed stitch, there's rib, there's all kinds of things going on with it. Super soft.
It is very soft. Thanks for the scarf. I'm just gonna go over here now.
This was what I had planned on showing. It's still on the needles. This is
that's because that thing is huge. It's massive.
It's the Wrap Me Up Sweater Scarf by Knitatude.
I could probably like walk out her door, which is like over that way, about 6 feet.
This is in color Dahlia. So you start with, I don't know, 16 inches or whatever of 1x1 rib. I don't like rib, and then you open it up, and then it's a shawl, and you knit it long enough that it wraps around you twice, and then you do another sleeve. So you put the sleeve, wrap, sleeve, and it's a great. I'm going to be super excited when it's finished
I feel like it would be super fun until you're like at about the 2/3 or halfway mark, and then you're like, oh, this just doesn't end, does it?
I'm about the halfway. I finished one skein because I'm alternating, and I've got this much of the second skein, and I need to throw in. It's going to take 4 skeins, I'm pretty sure. But
It's gorgeous.
yeah.
I love that color
And
so
just
much.
like soft, so soft.
It is
Because
really
I
soft.
love the softness.
It's gorgeous. What can
Yeah.
we say?
All right, what are you going to show next?
So for those of you, I'm digging my DK weight socks right now, my heavier weight socks.
There
So
we go.
I couldn't decide because we have obnoxiously bright colors in this base, and we have like just some kind of more muted, everyday colors. Because I think this yarn personally would be awesome for sweaters and stuff. It's a DK weight sock yarn. So it is, oh, this is where my brain goes. 75-25 nylon, not 80-20 like the other one, and merino. And from left to right, we have Bluebird, Blacklight, Lava Rocks, and Take a Hike. Because you can't call it Canucks because that's copyrighted. And I don't want to get in trouble. So, so this is what we're going with. But it's a really great sock yarn. It is I would say it's a little bit of a finer DK. So you're still going to want to knit it on probably a 3mm needle, rather than sometimes I find with a DK sock, you can bump it up to like a 3.25, but I would say for socks, definitely keep it around a 3, because they'll last better. But I think it'd be great for those kids knits that you want to be able to throw in the wash, or even, adult sweaters, any of that kind of stuff that you want something that's soft, but maybe won't pill quite as easily. That little bit of nylon in it's going to help it have a little bit more structure for a little bit longer. And I did bring a sample complete with a severed foot, which I realized saying that before cameras being back on is maybe a little strange.
A little bit.
But here's my severed foot. And this is our Summer Fiesta colorway, which doesn't come across on the camera as awesome as it is in real
Yeah,
life,
It's nicer
but it's
in real
super
life.
awesome.
Yeah.
I love this colorway so much. And I love this colorway so much, I've dyed it on almost all of our bases. So it's like available on our super bulky, it's available on our regular sock base. It's just fun. It's a fiesta. But so I knit these socks for me, but they have become samples now because,
They're
but I
fun.
knit these on a 3mm. So if people are curious, like the kind of stitch definition,
Yeah.
that's what you get. Yeah, so that's that one.
All right. Now we're jumping up. No, before we jump, we're going to remind everybody our discount code is KCV15.
The reason she hesitates is because I messed it up in our notes originally. And so she was like, what's wrong with Kelsey? It's like, I can't be trusted.
KCV stands for Knit City Virtual 15 on both of our websites. And you get 15% off any order from now until end of day Tuesday.
February 1st.
February 1st.
I got it right this time.
Good job. And also our contest, just in case somebody missed it, you have to guess how many skeins are behind us, understanding that there are 10 of these boxes. You cannot see them all. You have to just guess. Don't put your answer in the chat yet. That's going to come at the end. We'll tell you when, and you only get one guess. So
Make
a
it
good
count.
one. And there's 3 prizes for second and third.
Yes. So we're going to go on to our last yarn base that we're going to show you today before we dive into notions. I realize I'm sitting on a spinny chair, and this is like kind of dangerous because I tend to just go like this. Sorry.
Let's look at yours.
Okay.
While you spin.
Yay! Wee!
This is super bulky, and we have the same super bulky base. It is a single ply. It's super awesome. The colors showing here from left to right are Maple Leaves, Dahlia, and Sweet Pea. There's 70 meters per skein. It's really, truly super bulky, but it's awesome. It's I don't know, it's the single ply. I love it.
I love it too.
I have a sample which is knit in Sweet Pea. This is make sure I get it right, the Mega Spun by Berg. I like the top.
It looks like a flower,
It does. It's super cool.
which kind of goes well with your theme of everything being named after
Everything.
plants.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like, it's just soft and cushy and you just want to squish it like this.
I agree.
Yeah, it's a great vase. And it is the first prize yarn prize. You get a skein
Look how pretty these are together.
from each of us. Mine is called fuchsia. Kelsey, it's
Mine
called
red roses.
red roses.
So it's thematic.
It is.
One thing I'm just gonna say this, if you save all the ties, there's like 7 ties on these skeins of
There's a lot
yarn,
of
which
ties.
blows my brain. So you can get like 3 extra yards of like, that's what it feels like. So if you're like, this is not gonna be enough, to save your ties.
And it's a single ply. Splice them together.
Exactly. No problem.
Just add them on to the end of the skein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we'll show you some of my colors, my
Kelsey's.
interpretations of this yarn. So for those of you who know me, you might know that I like obnoxiously bright things. So we have, from the bottom on the left is called Candy Apple. The one above it, that tealy one, is called Wishing Pond. Across from that is Fall Leaves. And then below that is Polar Vortex, which, Chris, I'll get you to push that one all the way across so people can, you can just kind of drape it across
Polar
the,
vortex.
yeah, so you can see the dark blue on the bottom.
Yeah,
And purple,
that's
because Polar Vortex is just epic and fun, and I love it. And that is another colorway of mine that I just can't get enough of, and put it on a lot of different things. So yeah, it's on a lot of our bases.
all right.
And so I can show you a couple samples. One of which is on my head. So this is my Apex Toque. It's one of my patterns, and this is knit in Red Roses, which you saw in Slate. So I love this. And when I was designing this, I discovered that I have really weird gauge, apparently, like row gauge, as opposed to stitch gauge in comparison to people. Because originally the pattern is supposed to be like that, but a lot of people were finding that it was like way too tall. So in my pattern, there's like 5 different ways to like change it and alter the color works. There's a lot of different chart options, and you can basically customize it based on once you've knit the ribbing and once you get your gauge off of that. So you don't have to do a swatch, you just knit your ribbing, and then you measure how many inches or stitches it is, and then you pick your charts and mix and match them to make it fit your head based on whether you want a fitted or a slouchy one. So, but this is also, I'll try to not knock over our decorative sheet. But then this is the other one. My thing is a little bit broken underneath, so just excuse that. But this one is in, the speckled one is Summer Fiesta, which you saw earlier on that sock base. And then this one is called, what is it? Moonless Night. I was looking at Chris hoping he'd help, and he just shook his head.
And I was looking at
He's
the
like,
notes,
no.
but it's not there.
It's not there. So yeah, so there's that.
right.
But oh, I don't know if either of us mentioned this base it's merino, but it has a little bit of nylon in it.
Oh yeah, we didn't mention.
Which is actually really good, because a lot of times single plies pill like crazy.
Yes.
Like this thing has been washed and carted around as samples, plus I've worn it a bunch. I've been wearing this toque all winter and I haven't washed it yet. And
no pilling.
there's like no
There's,
pilling
like,
at
nothing.
all. I normally do not knit like sweaters out of single ply. This one is one I would actually consider doing, because I feel like it would actually hold up.
So we have some suggestions for patterns.
Oh yeah.
We each found 2 patterns, just suggestions for each weight of yarn.
One paid and one free.
Yeah, figuring DK and super bulky. The pattern, one of the recommendations that I have for the super bulky is a vest, like a sleeveless vest, because you can see the stitch definition so nice. And even though it's a garment, because of the nylon, I'm confident that it's going to wear really well, because you know how often with the rubbing of your arms, the sides pill first.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be so pilly.
So bad with this one.
No, it's really not.
So, and I saw Kim threw it down. We made a bundle on Ravelry under the Case of Knits Ravelry group. So if you miss it here, but remember the audio, you can go look at that. We put all of the patterns together in a bundle, and we've each, as Michele said, we gave a recommendation.
Yeah, just
both
suggestions.
So there's both paid and free patterns that we both love for our yarns. So that we ourselves would knit or have knit.
Exactly.
So,
Cool.
and I love this hat.
It's a great hat.
And I like the
And I
pom-pom.
like the pom-pom.
Hi, Janet, the yarn bowler. If you're around, if you're not around, she makes the best pom-poms.
That's a pretty awesome pom-pom.
I love her pom-poms. She has rainbow pom-poms, like neon rainbow pom-poms.
I like almost never wear hats, but I look at the pom-poms and go, I kind of want one.
I got
what?
miniature pom-poms from her and put them around the cuff of socks for a friend. And they're epic and they're snap-on, so you can snap them on or pull them off. They're so good.
That's awesome.
So I think that's all of the yarn, isn't
That's
it?
the yarn.
That's the yarn.
Both of us have other things on our websites. And so we thought instead of just all yarn, we'd show you some of the other things that we have.
So you have more things. So I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay, I'm gonna start with yarn bowls.
I can say her yarn bowls or her dad's yarn bowls are amazing. I own 2 of them. Both are which in use in my house right now.
So yes, as Kelsey said, my dad makes yarn bowls. They are all out of wood. They're all unique and different, depends on the wood that he has. At the moment, this is made out of maple. No, it's not. It's made,
I was gonna say that looks like walnut or something.
it's made out of walnut. I was thinking he's working on another one. Never mind. At the moment, this one is walnut. It's the only one that I have on the website today, but he does work on them intermittently. He's retired. He's 80. You know, it's whenever I get a yarn bowl is when I get a yarn bowl. There's no real.
Sometimes he does really cool things too. He'll like the wood that's like more fractured. He'll put resin that he's dyed in, and so I have one of the blue resin.
Yeah, he's got some resin. I do have another bowl just to give you an idea. This is mine. You can't have it. And this one actually was an experiment. So this is birch plywood that he's cut into little bits and laminated all together, and then it's got some walnut, and then it's got some maple at the bottom. But you know, just whatever he feels like doing is what he does.
It's super cool.
Yeah. So
you should show the Swift since it's all thematic with your dad right now too.
It's true. He's just started making yarn Swifts.
And Kim's very excited because this one is destined for her home.
Because this is for Kim. He made one for my mom, and it's just gone from there. So I'm going to list yarn Swifts on my website. This is unfinished, unstained. It's finished. It's sanded smooth. It's super nice. He's going to offer them stained or unstained, and they come together so they don't take up too much room. And then you just pop them down, and then there's the dowels that go in the various holes depending on
size of your
size, and they spin really nicely. Kelsey out. Anyway, they are coming soon to my website. Shipping will be interesting because they're long. I just need to get some long skinny boxes, and then I'll be able to ship them.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's that.
They'd probably fit. Sure, yeah, why not? Cover all of the dad
Cover
things.
all of the dad things.
Oh, Kim's got one too.
Kim's got one too. And
I don't have a real one, so Chris isn't even doing it.
I was going to, I have one, darning eggs. I have one that I was going to bring downstairs and completely forgot. So he's making darning eggs. He's experimenting with shape and size. So at the moment there are 2. This one is walnut and maple. Walnut and maple. And this one is all oak. He's going to try and make some smaller than this, but this kind of size, and see how that goes. Drop spindles. I don't know. I can ask him. He likes to experiment with wood things. So these are coming. I just need to take pictures and get them up on the website, and hopefully some various shapes and sizes as well. When I list them, I'll make sure I put the size, because some people don't want one this big necessarily. Yeah, anyway, Kim's showing hers. Thanks, Kim. Maybe you need to speak so you're at the top.
I think she's pinned to the top.
No, we're pinned to the top.
I don't know, because I've got you guys pinned, so I don't know if I show up, but yeah, this is mine, and I love it. It's beautiful, and it was the best gift I've gotten.
Yay. So yeah, wood stuff, courtesy of Dad.
Very nice.
That's all my wood stuff.
I don't have wood stuff, but I have leather stuff. That could be misconstrued.
Whoops and never mind.
She said it, not me. She's getting the naughty finger. Chris, do you mind grabbing me my project bag from the stairs there that has a sock in it? Because I will show how my needle things work in a moment. But first, while he's fishing that out so I can show you how my needle holders work, I make these fun, I'm going to close it up first.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have these little notions pouches that I make, so they're triangular. And so for some of them, I actually dye the leather or stain the leather myself. And then do all of the, the snaps. I do like all of the burnishing of the edges and stuff, but then inside each of these wonderful little notions cases, you get a darning needle. You also get some fun little square geometric stitch markers.
Fun.
And then you also get, because it's geometric, apparently mine to shapes because it's a triangle with squares and then hexagons.
I love those hexagons. They're super cute.
So a few different sizes of markers and stuff, and they all fit into here nicely, and then you can close it and snap it shut.
Yes.
And they don't fall
And
out.
Do you have another one, a different color or the same color?
No,
today?
all of my notions pouches right now are the same color because I made them out of the same piece of leather, but my needle holders, which I will show you in a moment, are the same. So those are my notions pouches.
They're
So
nice.
those are on our website. So
And they're nice leather, like that leather.
yeah,
feels.
they're what they call, I think, a 4-ounce leather. So they're a little bit thicker. They're not like flimsy.
Yeah.
Like I had to burnish them down so that way they're foldable.
And the inside is like suede. So
Yeah.
it's- yeah.
So they're
Nice.
really, they're quite nice. I like them. You can also use them as a change purse if you don't like them as a notions purse.
If you have
So-
a lot of notions.
Yes, or just have multiples of them. But then the other thing I have, Chris, do you mind throwing me my project bag? Oh, you already threw it at me and I just missed it.
You're busy. We're talking about leather things.
I was busy. He's just too, so I have these, which,
Here, I'll hold those up while
Okay.
you dig your thing in.
so I'll take one. I'm gonna steal one.
I'll get the colors.
So these
This
are,
one matches my spoon.
it does. I make also double pointed needle holders. So I am a big fan of Haya sharps, and those are notoriously painful.
Sharp.
And sharp. I have a couple of scars in my hands from places that they have gone into when I've reached my hand into my bag. So I have used the fabric ones that have the snaps before, but I was finding with the Hayas, they were still like stabbing
poking
through.
through, yeah.
If you use really thick interfacing, I don't think it would be a problem, but I decided I would try making some like leather ones. So they just have simple little things that pop open easily, and I have different colors. There's also, I don't have them with me, but we do purple, red, there's a few different shades of brown, but they work for both double pointed needles and circulars. I don't have the best project here for it, but so what I usually do is I just kind of hook these around like that, and then you just kind of shove them in. And the biggest thing is just making sure that when you put them in, that these parts are like the needles are pushed past
Kind
them.
of like snaps, but not really.
Yeah, exactly. They're a little bit easier to use than snaps because
Yeah.
of your needles, but then
Yeah.
you just push it closed and
Yeah, there's
voila, they're not going to go anywhere. Your project can hang down. They're not going to stab you. I can rifle on them. They're not going to go anywhere.
they're super easy to open and close.
Yeah. So
It's like I don't know if you can see it. It's just this metal piece.
yeah.
And it goes through a hole. It's a hole in the leather.
And some of them will be a little bit stiff when you first get them because they're quite new. Because I haven't sat there going like this, open, close, open, close, open, close 500 times, but you just got to stick with them and they soften up once you've used them a half dozen times. But yeah, so we have different colors. I love these things. So, and if you do want them for double pointed needles, these ones work for 6-inch DPNs. The ones I have on the website. I do still have some that I've made for 8-inch DPNs. So if you are using the longer ones, let me know. I don't really recommend them past about a 5 millimeter, 5.5 millimeter for 4 DPNs, because you'll find there's not really enough room to shove them all in. But again, if that's something that you want, if you just send me a message through the website, what I do is I cut a slightly deeper piece before I do all the finishing, and then there's a little bit more work I do on the inside. So we can make some that work. If you're like, well, I only knit with 8mm or something like that, we can make it work. It's just it's something that I only do on request.
Custom made.
Exactly.
Just for you.
So, but these are those.
Nice.
What about you?
I have the last thing to show. I have bags. I have a limited number. I have 2 types. I have project bags.
Which are super cute.
They have different color lining.
How can you tell Michele likes purple?
I don't know.
And her mom.
Hold like a couple. It's a little tight for a sweater. Once you get beyond halfway, it's a little tight, but anything smaller than that, they work really well. They hold quite a bit. These are project bags. They're all made by my mom, who is an awesome quilter and has a lot of fabric. And then she has also made needle bags, and these hold 2 sets of double pointed needles inside in these individual little slots. There's slots on both sides, and there's all kinds of room in the middle for stuff. And then on the outside, on both sides, there are zippered sides that
Extra cables and stuff in.
cables and just more stuff. It's amazing how much these little bags, for the size of them, how much they hold. So I have both of these on my website. My mom has decided that she is out of the DPNs and interchangeable. Oh, and crochet hooks. A friend of mine
yes,
got one.
totally.
She crochets, so she puts all her crochet hooks in them.
Mhm.
It works really well. So my mom has decided she's out of the bag making business. So what's on my website
Once it's gone, it's gone.
is it. Yeah, that's it. That's all we've got. What time is it?
It's
We've got about 10 minutes. So
so does that mean cue the circus music? Yeah, the juggling time.
sure, we could do the
The
contest, and then we can answer questions.
Sure.
Because we did get a few.
So last chance, take a good look. Do your best.
Do your best.
These are the yarns,
my
the
chair's
ones
in
that
the
you can
way.
see.
I'll try to move.
I love you too. If people love us, I love them back. Okay, so
I think it's important that I show this box because look how few.
yes. Oh, the guesses are already coming in. So just remember, once your guess is in, that's it.
One guess. Kim?
Oh,
So we'll give people what, like, a couple
so
minutes to do this.
as these are all going through, is it closest to, I should have asked this before, closest and not over, or what's the deal there?
I think just closest.
Just
in general.
closest, yeah.
Yeah,
Just-
I don't care if you go over.
I have to know this because I have to look at the numbers, my friends.
Yes.
Well, she's doing that.
Thank you.
Is this how we're gonna juggle, or were we gonna actually do like the? See, this is already going bad.
This was a really bad idea.
No,
Oh my
here, I think
God.
it'll work better if we face this way, because then there's like more arm, like you can like. Sorry, sure. I have 3 now.
Okay, we fail at juggling. I give up on the juggling.
I can maybe, I don't know, these would be a little bit easier. Nope, they're not, because they're not like evenly weighted. They're hard to do.
We can't juggle.
I can juggle like lines, like the proper
Clearly,
weight, because you're
it's
supposed to
an
go
art.
like this.
Yeah, you're supposed to go like around.
like
and
this, like you're supposed to send
yeah,
one that goes that way.
This way, one goes this way.
Who knew you were
It
gonna?
doesn't help that these tags are hanging off. Okay, never mind. We're done with the juggling. Suck.
You told me not to practice. That's your fault.
No.
If I'd practiced.
Okay, never mind.
Monique
And we
says
would
her
love to
cat.
play
Yes.
with your cat.
Yes, totally.
Balls of yarn.
Yeah. Oh,
Not skeins.
or minis. Maybe if we'd use minis.
Ping pong balls.
Yes.
Okay, let's
And poor
just,
Kim is shaking her head. She has her hand on her head. This is not a good sign.
let's move to the questions.
Okay. Well, Kim is figuring out the three top people. we have a few questions that came up. I know there's probably some in the chat, and if there are, we'll get to those in a minute, but we'll start with the ones that I had sent in.
Yeah.
So first question is, if I could buy this, this is from the perspective of the person asking the question, if I could buy just a single skein of yarn from you, which yarn should I get and why? And what should I make with it? So if you could only, if someone was like, I have, you know, $30, like buy one skein of your yarn, which one would you want them to try?
I would recommend one of the fingering bases because you get so much yardage. You've got 400 meters. You've got options. You can make socks, you can make hats, you can make mitts, you can make a shawl like the one Kelsey made. That's what I would go with.
It's a hard one for me. I think because I'm so passionate about people trying non-superwash yarns, like I'm like, I want you to love a non-superwash yarn. I think I would probably either recommend this one, this DK weight, the Myra Canyon DK, or if I had to go superwash, the BFL silk fingering. I know that one's a superwash, but they're a little bit different than your standard sock yarn. And there's something a little bit special about them, I think, in a way.
If it's a special yarn you're looking for, I would recommend my Alpaca silk cashmere.
Yeah.
It's special.
And as for project, I think something you can wear around your neck or your head that you can just like something very tactile. Like I love knitting socks and how useful they are, but there's something like so great about being able to just like be like, oh, this is that thing that I made and I love it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I put this on and I haven't taken it off because I'm like, oh yeah, I really like how this thing feels when it's on my head.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, the next question. How do you decide what to knit for a sample when you are testing new colorways or yarn bases?
That's a hard one. That's really hard.
For me, I know I like to try to have at least a sample that will show kind of what you can do with one skein. So like the shawl that I showed at the beginning, the Woollsia one. The thing I like about this is it used up like all but maybe 3 grams of my skein of yarn. So if people are like, well, again, that same thing comes to like, oh, maybe it's an affordability thing. Maybe it's I'm scared of trying a yarn that's expensive, but I do want to try something that's good quality. So it's nice to be able to visually see, okay, well, if I have one skein of yarn, like there's a lot of options of what I can do with it and how far it will go. So this one is, you know, a good, I know, I like to try to find something that way that kind of maximizes the use of a skein of yarn.
I do too. I have a lot of shawl samples, and shawls are something that you can knit for anybody. Like if you're knitting for yourself, you're knitting for as gift knitting, size doesn't matter. You don't have to make sure it fits. It's, yeah, they're nice.
The other thing I like about doing shawls too is it's a really good way of showcasing either different kinds of stitches for stitch definition or drape. So it kind of like ticks all the boxes of like, is it drapey? Does it have memory? How soft is it? What kind of gauge does it look best on? Any of those kind of things.
And if we've got multiple colors we're trying to showcase, there's
can do
lots
that.
of multiple colored shawls.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Versatile thing to do.
The selfish samples are the ones like this and like this, because I'm like, well, it's a sample, but I can use it.
I know I have this. I would show it as a sample, but yeah, it's mine.
This one, I mean, this one comes with me to yarn shows, but then I just wear it.
Yeah. All right.
Is Kim still, are you still mathing, Kim? Yep. Okay.
Okay.
So are you a chart knitter or are you a written instructions gal?
I will do both. Depends. I kind of gravitate towards the written instructions, but I've done both. I have a cowl that is called the Crazed Scandinavian Cowl, which is 18 pages of charts. It's not written.
Whoa.
I've only gone through the first chart.
Kim's like, no, don't do it.
It's color work. It's 2 colors.
I love color work though.
I know. See, so that is just all charted. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I've got this thing that I bought with magnets on it, so you can move the magnet up so you know which row you're on.
Those magnet charts are amazing.
Yeah.
Or you can get those the highlighter tape as well,
Right.
which works really well.
Yeah, so I find it easy. But if it's repeated, you know, like if it's the same 4 rows over and over, I generally go with written instructions. But yeah, you?
I'm kind of like you. If it's cables or lace, I prefer charts. Color work, obviously charts, just because it's visually easier for me. I have a friend in New Zealand. I don't know if she's on today because she might be. I don't know. If you're there, hi Sarah. She is really awesome, and sometimes I have sent her charts and she will send me back the chart, and it has like numbers of like how many times you knit each color on the chart. So you don't even have to think, you're just like, oh, red 6, yellow
Nice.
4, red 9, so she had her partner program something into Excel so she could do that for
Nice.
Formulas. But so I'm definitely, I think I'm team chart. But it depends. Like I can do both, but I definitely in the beginning was like, no, not charts. I want it written out. But now that I'm more comfortable with charts, Kim's still like, no.
Kim is not a chart person.
I think having worked in a lot of situations where I've had to be helping people with their knitting, I've gotten way more comfortable with charts and how to read them. And I think too, maybe it depends on a designer as well, because different designers will use different symbols that mean the same thing. So if you find a designer that you like that has a lot of patterns, and that's from maybe a similar region, whether it's like say Germany or somewhere in Scandinavia or something like that, their style of writing charts is going to be very similar. Whereas if you find someone that's like from Canada versus say Italy or something, it might be a problem. I'm going to check and see if that was Kim that texted me. Okay, so we have some winners.
We have winners.
We have winners.
In third place.
In third place.
Which is a copy of the Lily of the Valley stole pattern.
It's Cheryl.
Yay!
Dun, dun, dun. And we will have Kim, will you private message them? Yes, okay, so Kim will private message you for details so that way you don't have to share all your personal information to the whole World Wide Web.
Actually, better, why don't they private message me?
Okay, you private message Kim.
That would be better. And so I can, for that one, if you give your Ravelry username, I can send over the pattern that way.
Perfect. And then for second place,
prize.
which is this, hold it up close so they can see the squirrel. So for the squirrely stitch marker set, we have Jody.
Yay, Jody.
And
we're gonna need your address for that one, Jody.
Yes.
So that can be mailed out.
And in first place for the yarn and the pattern for the hat that comes with it. So if you want to throw in your Ravelry name for this as well is Anna.
Yay, Anna.
So who wants to know exactly how many skeins of yarn are on the back? Chris put his hand up. Everyone's putting their hands up. It might be surprising to some of you. It's 184. Dun, dun, dun. I don't know why it gets music, but it does. And a reminder that we still have, even so if you didn't win a prize and you're sad, but you still want the yarn, both those yarns are on our web pages, and so is the pattern. And
how close was the winner?
How close is the winner?
Oh,
so Anna got 180. Oh, Anna.
Oh, it's on Ravelry.
Okay,
Okay, never mind. Good.
So yeah. What was I saying? Oh, coupon code. So our
Coupon code.
coupon code is still good again until the end of the day, Tuesday, KBC 15.
Yes.
No.
KCV.
That
See?
was
I am broken.
Knit City Virtual. KCV.
Chris is threatening to throw things at me now. This is why I do this with people, because if I did it on my own, day drinking, does my very large Starbucks count?
Water, not vodka, just water.
Gin.
Nope, they didn't spike it.
Yep.
Darn, no.
Yeah.
I didn't even drink last night either, so I wasn't even like Friday night.
So
Fun
no,
times.
no excuses.
No.
But
Yeah,
so coupon code KCV
I'm making you doubt it now.
15. It is in the chat. Kim knows what's going on.
What does it say? I'm
counted the
shocked. I
skeins.
counted the skeins.
Except for the ones at the bottom
That you
which
couldn't
can't
see.
And one of those boxes at the bottom is really, really full.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a wide variety. Oh, my chair's in the way. Like this one. Not a lot of yarn in this box.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, if anyone has any questions they want to
We
ask
have
right
one more
now.
question. We have our last question.
Oh, yes.
Do you have any pets? And if so, do you knit for them?
I have a winter cat.
You better explain that.
So I have a cat that actually belongs to my parents. He's 15 years old, and my parents disappeared to Arizona for much of the winter. So the cat is living with Chris and I right now. And I thought so I've never had a cat as a pet, like where I've been around it 24/7 kind of thing. And I noticed that he always like sleeps with his head like upside down. And I didn't know that was the thing that cats do. So I made him a little hat with a pom-pom. His head was bigger than I anticipated. I mean, I made room for his ears to pop out. I have one really begrudgingly or angrily looking cat photo of him wearing it, where he's just kind of like,
That's it. One
why,
photo.
why is this happening to me? So, that's my situation.
I have a dog. She's a coonhound husky mix. Her name is Isis. Guess who I named my business after? Isis. She just turned 9. I do not knit for her. She's half husky and will just go out and lay in the snow all of the time. She does not need any knitted things on her body. The only knitted thing she's ever had is I have a scarf pattern on my website, and I stuck it around her neck and took a picture, and it looks super cute. So I put that in the pattern, but that was a 2-minute thing, and then it had to come off, and she ran away.
She's so good though.
No
She's such a good
knitted
girl.
thing. She is a good girl. Nothing knitted for Isis because she doesn't need it. I did knit a little sweater for my brother and sister-in-law's dog because she's a little 10-pounder. I don't think she wears it though. It was a Christmas gift and I had to guess at the size, and I think it's a little too tight, but that's all of the pet knitting I have ever done.
And Monique asked, where are we located and do we have a shop?
We are both in the Okanagan. I am in rural Caledon. Kelsey and Chris are in Summerland. We both have websites. Mine is isisfibrearts.com.
Mine's kzipknits.com.
And yeah, you can find us there.
Yeah, so we don't have a brick and mortar shop, either of us. We both have dye studios in our respective homes.
Yes.
And occasionally we get together and throw yarn at each other.
And on the floor.
And on the floor. Yeah, I made a mess in your house. I'm sorry. There's
fine.
like,
There's stuff on the floor. It's fine.
that's why you can only see from here up, right? Can't see the chaos.
No, hide the chaos.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Those are all our questions. Do we have more questions?
feel free to throw them in the chat. No?
No questions?
Kim says no.
Kim says no.
Well,
What
thank you.
time is it? Oh, it's after 4 already.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
And
Perfect
a
timing.
lot of
Good timing.
a lot of people have said how great this was, and
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
And
you
thanks
for
for tuning
coming.
in and putting up with our insanity.
Insanity.
If you want to relive this at all, we have recorded it, so I will upload it. We'll upload it to our respective YouTube channels
Yes.
sometime in the next couple of days. And yeah,
Great to see ya.
yeah. Thanks for
The-
tuning in,
The
everyone.
few people we can see, we can only see a few.
And it rotates through. It's great to see people knitting and
Yeah.
whatnot.
Yeah, this is
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Kimmy.
Thanks, Kim. Thanks, Chris.